Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
We got another huge division game back-to-back. Monday night, and we're going to Pittsburgh, where we haven't had the best of luck. Are you guys nervous at all?
I'll tell you what, I was probably more nervous for the game against the Bengals than I am against Pittsburgh, especially that I have seen a ton of conversation. Kenny Pickett was rough in week one against the 49ers.
Kenny Pickett's their quarterback?
Well,
I thought it was Joe Montana after all those preseason games, the way they talked about him.
We've seen a lot of quarterbacks light it up in preseason, and it doesn't always translate to the regular season.
No.
So
wait, you're telling me that preseason records and stats and all that really don't matter? So when me and Kevin didn't give
16.
So me and Kevin weren't talking about all this and going crazy in depth with everybody else during the preseason games. We're like, oh wait, it didn't matter. Look at that.
You know what? With the way the Browns defense played, I just feel like they can shut Pittsburgh down too. Christian McCaffrey thrashed them on the ground, and I see no reason why Nick Chubb can't do that. If you get Deshaun, because Deshaun yesterday talked about getting, I think it was an IV at halftime because he was cramping. If Deshaun can be an improved passer in week 2, which I'm still hoping that he does, I don't see any reason why the Browns can't win this game. The mood around them, George Pickens is liking tweets, so I've been down that road before. And you're missing Deontay Johnson, you're missing Cam Hayward. Those are two guys that have given the Browns fits. I mean, injuries happened. The Browns are missing Jack Conklin, but DeJuan Jones stepped in pretty good. I'm feeling good about it. I think the Browns can be 2-0 for the first time since 1993. What say you?
You just brought up DeJuan Jones. I wish we got to get back to him.
Okay.
That guy needs man, what a performance from a rookie.
Yeah.
Because the Bengals got some good defensive ends.
Yeah.
But whatever, that was the last game. We're on to Cincinnati, or we're on to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we can still talk about them in another segment. I mean, I know that we like to focus on all the other teams, and we give them their just due. I mean, you guys got to know, I'll get to the point of the Guardians. I don't know how much I can. I'm going to watch them because I'm always going to be a baseball fan, but.
That might be a really short segment.
Yes, that'd be like a really, really short segment.
Hey, man, we gave them a lot of airtime this year, and slowly dwindled down just a little bit by little bit. And
we get our last view of Terry Francona managing the Guardians this Saturday with the in-laws. So we're looking forward to that. I think they're trying to make Lincoln a shirt that said, "I'm only here for Tito."
Nice.
More so, my mother-in-law wants to do that because, she's always had a crush on Terry Francona. So
nice.
Not to out you, sorry. She's not here. They went back home. So, I'll catch that one on Saturday.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, going to Pittsburgh, you always have to. I don't want to say be nervous, but you always have to. You have to be focused. You can't just. The players can't think that. Look how easy it was in game 1. This is how it's going to be. This team doesn't have this player and that player and this player. This isn't the same team. Kenny Pickett's throwing interceptions all over the place. 2 different years, but Kenny Pickett still beat you last year. And going in with a mindset like that, a guy like that can beat you. I'm not here to say that Kenny Pickett is all world and that his hands are much bigger than people want to make you believe that they are. I'm not here to give any sort of flowers to the Pittsburgh Steelers other than you still have to go out and beat them. You can be a better team on paper. You still got to go beat them. Going to Pittsburgh for Cleveland has always been this monkey on our back. We got it off a little bit, but we went there when there were no fans there and won a playoff game. It still mattered. And it's still a huge feat for that team. But this is going to be one of only 2 games going on that night. For some reason, week 2 is the doubleheader instead of week 1 for Monday Night Football. Don't understand it. Doesn't matter. Peyton Manning, Eli Manning aren't going to be doing the game. But it's still going to be one of only 2 games that the whole nation is going to have their eyes. You know that Pittsburgh is going to be packed. Acrisure Stadium, wherever the hell they call it now. I don't really care because I hate Pittsburgh, but they're going to have that stadium packed.
We'll just call it Toilet Bowl Stadium from now on.
Toilet Bowl Stadium works for me. you just have to be ready. And the same kind of energy, effort that we saw from this team at home, that crowd is going to be loud from the start, but they're not for you. Come out with that same energy, hit them in the mouth first, quiet that stadium, and that is going to be the best sound that you can hear. All you'll hear is Browns fans by the end. If this team does exactly what they did and execute the plan, make adjustments as you need to. So, no, Jay, I'm not nervous, but I always have like this, I don't know, like this sixth sense on that to not go too far and think, oh, we're just going to run in there and run over.
Here's
you
my
have
thing.
to go take it to them and actually do it.
My whole thing, and this is where I want to see the growth of this team from past failures, is don't be smelling yourself from last week. Don't be still celebrating last week's things like that. You put that in the past, and after a huge win, I don't know how many times they came back and just laid clunkers. It would drive me insane. You're like, oh, they were reading their press clippings and feeling themselves, and they were unfocused. Like I want them to be like, all right, that was sweet, awesome, whatever, it's done. Like we're saying, right on to Pittsburgh. We have another huge division game, and you said, you got to go there and take that crowd out of them and punch them right in the mouth and be physical like you were right with Cincinnati. Because everyone's saying like, oh, Pittsburgh's offensive line is revamped. Like that tells me is another way you could word it is they're unproven.
Sure.
Like, and we got these veterans on this defense. So when the crowd's loud, they're gonna guide those younger guys to do the right thing, make the right moves, and. Like last week, we didn't see guys lost in the secondary because they're all playing man. They're back to what they're doing. And, like, Deontay Johnson's gone, so that now we're down to Kenny Pickens. Like, he doesn't have burner speed. He's a jump ball receiver. He's kind of like Larry Fitzgerald was, but I don't want to say he's no Larry. Though. Oh, he is good.
He is,
but he's not Tyreek Hill, like, going to fly past anybody. Like, you just got to stay in front of him and make sure he doesn't get his hands on that ball. Yeah. And our corners can do that. Like, I think Emerson's going to be matched up on him because of the size.
That's going to be a big matchup because of that wingspan, the height of Emerson, and how he can get his hands in there. He's going to have to play smart. They're going to have to get their heads turned around because Pittsburgh's going to come in pissed off from laying an egg last Sunday, and Tomlin's going to have them ready to go. So you know that, these wide receivers, they may have saw how the cornerbacks and safeties play for the Browns. They're going to try to use all of the offensive rules, the offensive favoring rules, the NFL to their advantage. And again, you're going to have to play sound football and just be a team. And it's God, I always want to beat Pittsburgh, guys. But Jay. This team, like you said, cannot start smelling themselves. And one thing I would do, as much as us fans have put it in the past, up 13 a minute 55 in week 2 last year, had a chance to go to 2-0 for the first time since 1993. Started feeling yourself a little bit and didn't close out the game. They closed out last week.
Yep.
You want to do it again? You want to stay motivated to not be that team last year? That is the microcosm game of last year. That is the example of being the exact opposite of this season.
Perfect why I always say no regrets, only lessons. Use that New York game, everyone that was on that team, as a lesson and learn from it. Don't regret it. It happened. It's in the past. Learn from it. Move on. Let's not let this happen again.
I know Pittsburgh has some insanely good record on Monday night, especially at home. I don't know the exact record. I know it's really
19. Tomlin, I think, is 19-3.
Okay, that's obnoxious. But I just feel that I feel like right now there are seeds of doubt in Pittsburgh. I see it from their fans. You definitely see it from Pickens and his body language and what's going on between, we've seen that type of thing happen in Cleveland time and time again, where things aren't going well. All of a sudden, guys aren't getting along. They start to worry more about themselves and just their next contract. I know we're only a week in, but my point is, I think they're a little bit vulnerable. Because not only could the Browns go up to 2-0, but the Steelers could go down to 0-2. and they've got this insane winning streak.
They haven't had a losing record under Tomlin.
Winning season streak. That's what. Yeah, they haven't. They've never.
To hit on what you're saying, where they're vulnerable. What I was thinking about is if you go back to last year, all the teams that played San Francisco, because they are like probably the most physical defense out there.
Yeah,
they beat them up so bad. The record for the next game is ridiculously bad. Like so many teams lost after they played San Fran the next week.
Yeah,
and we got to take advantage of that. Like, don't let because it was it was like a double. It was like, oh sweet, they're playing them, but they beat them so bad. One team that I know that's like they're not gonna like that is Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin. They're mad. They're upset. They're pissed that what happened to them, and they're not gonna let that happen again, unless you just don't care and you just do it to them again anyways.
Yeah,
which is great. We got some big matchups coming in this game, and my biggest matchup I think is the rookie right tackle. DeJuan Jones. I always want to say the wrong name, but whatever. DeJuan Jones versus TJ Watt.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? What do you expect from him, more or less, I'd say?
Well, DeJuan was a lot better in pass blocking than he was in run blocking, so that at least makes me feel a little bit better. TJ Watt is a really powerful rusher. I think DeJuan is a large human being. We all know that. I mean,
he's big Thanos.
He's still a rookie. He was called in action. He played pretty well. If I heard it correctly, he did not allow a pressure in his game action last week, which is encouraging to me. But TJ Watt still went crazy against San Francisco. It just didn't matter. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like TJ Watt's not gonna. He's gonna get his. I think no matter what, TJ Watt is going to get his. So my game plan is to try and limit those around him. I'm hoping that if DeJuan can continue to play at the level he did against Cincinnati, I think the Browns will at least that's good enough play to keep them afloat and to keep them moving and to not be dramatic detriment to the offense. I do think the Jack Conklin loss is bigger than we're probably treating it right now. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been an All-Pro multiple times in his career, who was playing well before he. That was a freak injury. He literally just got. I think it was Hendricks.
He got rolled up on.
Yeah. So what are you going to do about that? But luckily, the Browns drafted DeJuan. They took advantage of a guy who fell and obviously has clear intangibles and just you can't teach size and you can't teach size. So it's a big test. I think if DeJuan can at least play averagely, I think I will still feel good about the Browns' chances to win.
Yeah, you can't let the game record that can be TJ Watt do just that and wreck the game just all by himself and keep the Steelers in, because the 49ers didn't. When I was tuning into the game, I saw TJ Watt coming around the corner at Brock Purdy like countless times. I'm thinking, oh man, like the Steelers got to be like up in this game. And it's a clear screen, and the scoreboard comes up, and I'm seeing like 27-7. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's not having that big of an impact, even though he's getting his. My fear with DeJuan Jones against him, not saying that the rookie can't hold his own, but he is such a big man and he is so tall. What does TJ Watt do so well? He bends that edge, he gets down, he has that good balance so he can get low and get around. So you're going to need to send some help to TJ Watt in order to have success in the pass game, because you can't allow TJ Watt to wreck it. He makes a couple quick sacks on one drive. Now you're in a 3-and-out already. So now you've stalled out. Now the offense doesn't have momentum. Then do the wheels start to spin that way? This team is going to have to take what they see in this film from the 49ers game. How did the 49ers overcome TJ Watt still being able to do what he did best and take some of those adjustments that they did? And if TJ Watt adjusts, then you need to have guys and coaching staffs looking at those Microsoft surfaces, making those adjustments right away.